Curious to see how that guy on the right side comes out to play after the MVP was announced and it went to Giannis. Yeah, let's go over the Western Conference Finals. The biggest storylines ahead of tonight's Game 1. LeBron and Jokic, both of the Lakers series have played out in similar fashion. They lost Game 1 to both the Blazers and Rockets before winning the next 4 games of each series. Both of Denver's series, well, they had similar looks. They were down 3-1. And they came back to beat both the Jazz and Clippers. Denver in its first conference finals since 2009, according to Caesars by William Hill. The Lakers are heavy favorites. The Nuggets series win would be the second largest upset in conference finals history. Well, make that in the last 30 seasons. Time for big game sound. You got it.
It takes a lot of energy, effort, and a lot of desperation to be able to come back from a 3-1 deficit, and they did it twice. So the respect level is out of this world for what we have for this ball club.
Well, we actually did petition the league to see if we could just get right to it and start the 3-1 down, save everybody a lot of time and catch up to the Eastern Conference.
We kind of surprised Clippers and probably didn't want to do it, didn't want to make that happen to them.
The confidence that they're playing with, the chip on their shoulder that they're playing with was really noticeable. Obviously, they're a very resilient group.
To do what they've done in this playoffs, coming back from 3-1 in both their series is phenomenal and something that we've never seen before. So they have a lot of confidence right now, and it's going to be a tough matchup for us.
Malika Andrews and Dave Mcmenamin join us now from the bubble inside Orlando. Malika, we just heard Mike Malone, head coach of the Nuggets, talk about it, that they play their best basketball when his team is with their backs against the wall, down 3-1. What does Malone want to see from them tonight as this series starts with Game 1?
He just wants to see a high level of intensity, Kevin. What he told me yesterday is that they have a choice here. His guys can choose to be satisfied with the fact that they made it to the Western Conference Finals for the second time in franchise history, or they can choose to say, you know what, the job isn't done, and that's how we're going to come out. Michael Porter Jr. said that he knows that last series against the Clippers, Game 1 was a struggle for them, and part of it might have been tired legs. Another part of it just might have been that the fact that they had their head still in the previous first round series. But this time they've had a full day off to recuperate. Then they had a full day to go over film, to go over schemes, to prepare for the Lakers. And Nikola Jokic said, you know what? We still feel like we're being overlooked. We know all of the odds are stacked against us. But since we have come back now from 3-1 deficits 2 times, they are no longer going to take us and this series for granted.
Well, confidence riding high right now with the Nuggets. Let's go to the Lakers side. Dave, we heard LeBron mention his respect for this team. What else can you tell us about James' mindset going into this series?
Yeah, Kevin, I checked it with a source close to LeBron this afternoon, and it's funny that Malika used the terminology not take it for granted because the source said the exact same thing in terms of how LeBron's viewing the Lakers being in the Western Conference Finals. The source told me that LeBron is not looking ahead. He's not taking it for granted. He recognizes just how hard it is to get to the conference finals. Even though he's done it so many times in his career, it can be fleeting. And obviously he was reminded by that last year, not making the playoffs for the first time since his second year in the league. He said he's intensely focused, still finding some time to relax, but he's focused. And tonight, think about it. 10 days ago, LeBron might have had his best game in the playoffs. It happened to coincide with the day that the Bucks were ousted from the playoffs. He had 36 points on 23 shots. Today, he finds out the news. He gets second place in MVP for the 4th time in his career. I think you could see another big night from him with that extra motivation.
Oh, yeah. Good luck, Denver. By the way, the Lakers held a 3-1 advantage in the regular season